Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to another episode of Crazy Women Country. I'm Donna.
I'm Paula, and today, we have Cyndi Alba with us. How you doing?
Hi, doing great.
Good.
Okay,
so our first question. Thank you for joining us. Our first question is the hardest question. We like to start at the top and then work down to the easy stuff. So, tell us, who is Alba?
I'm a lot of fun. I'm a big goofball, and we would laugh all the time if you were sitting here in front of me. We'll probably laugh anyway. I should have had something prepared to say, but I didn't. So I would just say that I have a day job because I live in Austin, live music capital of the world. And in order to be a musician here, you have to have another source of income. So I have a day job, and people at work would say, oh, she's, a great trainer and a great mentor. But that's not where my heart is. That's just how I pay the bills. So I would say that I'm a singer-songwriter. I am a performer. I married my guitar player, and we have a duo, Joey Alba. But I'm just this person who's been singing my whole life and been writing since I could hold a pencil. And that's who I am. We play a lot of shows live because, again, I live in Austin. There's lots of opportunities to play live shows. So I do a show almost every week. Last year, I think I did 54 shows or 55. This year, I've got about 45 on the calendar. And, I'll be adding as the year goes on. Yeah. So I would say I'm a performer.
Awesome. That is awesome.
So let's expand on that just a little bit. So obviously you married your guitar player bonus, right? So you always have a guitar player with you. And but tell us,
it makes rehearsals really easy. I don't have to go pick him up. I know where he's at.
You just drag him out of the living room. Come on, we're going. We've got to work.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, we check our family calendar for gigs because we already know where each other are. Hey, we're off next Friday, right? Oh no, we have a gig. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot easier that way than previous bands and things where I've had to go pick up the drummer and then go pick up the bass player, and none of that anymore. It's just so much easier now.
That is awesome. I love it.
So you all met at a songwriting competition. What competition was that?
It was a local one. It was called something of Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes, talking about old country music and that nobody's writing like that anymore. And I was actually friends with two of the judges, and they both called me and said, we don't know if anybody's going to show up. Can you please come be in this contest? And it was like maybe a 5 or 6 week thing where you were allowed to do it twice. If you didn't score well, you could do it again. And because they wanted to fill, enough spots. And I didn't do that well, even though my friends were the judges, they wouldn't help me. And,
it was so good thing.
It was funny because it's a boys club. We can say whatever we want to, but the contestants at any given day were 20 men and me, or 25 men and me, and I stuck out. But so I'm sitting in the contestants. We had a big long table, kind of waiting our turn, and I'm like, texting my friends, going, I'm the only girl in the room again. And one of my friends says, well, quit texting and maybe you'll fall in love. I'm like, no, I do not want to fall in love with a musician. That's not going to happen. But I ended up giving one guy my number, and there you are. 5 years later, here we are. We dated about, I guess we started playing music together about 6 months after we met, because I was in the middle of having to replace my guitar player. And he had been my friend by then and said, hey, I can do it. And I said, you're a bass player. And, you know, he's actually, no, I'm just a bass player in that band. I'm really a guitar player. So anyway, he twisted my arm to join my band, and then he twisted my arm to date me, and I twisted his arm to get married. So
I love that story.
it all worked out.
That is the best. Very funny. I love it. So
Yeah,
there's something
because we perform a lot, we have like our following that knows our original songs. And you know, it's your show, so you do your songs over and over, and we do a lot of covers as well, because that's what the town expects. But we haven't really hit the studio that much. I had a solo album before I met him that's on Spotify and all that. I can send you a link or whatever. And he had 3 solo albums, but together we've only recorded 3 songs, and those are still on some software somewhere. They haven't really officially been released yet. We're releasing them in June. So, and all 3 at the same time. So, you know, it's just kind of funny. It's like, okay, well, if you're not putting it on a CD and selling CDs, what exactly are you doing with recorded music? And I guess we just pay for studio time and then put it out there for people to grab. And, you know, it's like there's nothing really to sell anymore.
Yeah.
So we haven't really prioritized recording stuff because we're already playing it.
That's cool. So I have to ask. Oh, sorry. I was reading through your bio, and you do something called Stump the Band. You have to tell me, what is that? Is that, you have to tell me, Stump the Band requests.
Yeah, it was the term that the Johnny Carson show used to use back in the day. It was where the audience would request things as a joke. And so we just, depending on the rapport we have with the audience, we have Google, we have phones, you know. So if they request a song we've never heard of, probably one of us, between the two of us, one of us has probably heard of it. And I mean, like, we were at we have a residency, or I don't know, I guess a repeating show once a month at a hotel lobby. And it's always for the tourists staying at the hotel. So you never know who it's going to be. And one particular time it was pouring down rain, and there was a motorcycle club there, and they were all wearing their leather jackets and drinking heavily. Very stereotypical motorcycle club. And they kept requesting really bizarre songs. They wanted Ode to Billy Joe, which was, when was that? Late 60s. They had a lot of late 60s, early 70s female, I don't even want to say folk, but things that weren't really that popular. And so we kept Googling the words and cranking them out. I said, I can sing it if you can play it. You know, and he'd say, well, you know, I can play the chords and I'll just strum and you find the melody. And, you know, it was fun.
I love it. That is great, because it's a great way to get the audience involved, and
absolutely,
it builds up that rapport between them and yourself. It's, you know, it's very, very cool. I love that.
We played at one restaurant recently, and apparently one of the waitresses asks every singer who comes in to do Do You Believe in Life After Love by Cher? Whatever, I guess it's called Believe. And well, okay, let me Google it. If I have the words in front of me, I could probably sing it. And it was funny because they heard us singing it, and a lot of half the staff came over and looked at her and said, "Quit making all the bands sing that song." Sooner or later, somebody's going to get it right. But, you know, country bands do share disco hits. So it was fun.
I love it. That's very cool. Very
cool. So what was the most interesting song that you've ever like tried to pick up and learn besides that one?
Oh, just from audience request? They requested the theme from Arthur, When You Get Lost Between the Moon and New York City. Okay, that's random. Okay, I think I can sing it. I don't know what key I want it in, but and they request like a lot of times as a joke, they'll request, you know, something by Metallica or something crazy, and you know, that's not going to happen. But my husband was in a rock band in the 90s, so he still has that stuff ingrained in his motor memory. And he'll just start playing it, but when it's on an acoustic guitar, you don't recognize that that's what he's doing. So Yeah. It's fun. It's just that people want crazy things. One lady we know of, she told us later it's a joke that she pulls on every band. But it was the song from the movie Someday, where it was all the Beatles songs. It was the only song in the movie soundtrack that was not written by the Beatles. I think it's called something like Summer Song. So she requests that from every band she sees. And she actually texted it to us during the show. So, and then we went on break, we checked our phones. I was like, oh, we got a request. Well, let's see if we can learn it while we're on break and go back and open with it. And we did. And they just fell over laughing because they never expected us to know it or try to know it.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
The power of Google.
Oh yes, you've got to love it. You'd have to love it. What would we do without our mobile phones?
And, you know, it's funny that you said about the heavy rock going into acoustic. I forget the band that did a Crossroads way back in the day at CMT, and I'm probably 10, 20 years ago. I just remember, I don't remember who it was, but I remember them doing acoustic, and it was such a cool version. I'm like, I never wanted to hear that rock version again. I was like, that was just like, it was like such a stripped down, awesome version. Like, I'm like, it just drew you in. Like, and yeah, just incredible. So
I love Pat Benatar acoustic stuff. She's one of my favorite singers because she actually
I
sings.
love Pat
Yeah, I've seen her live, I don't know, every 10 years, whether I need to or not. And probably recently I've seen her, I think 3 times in the last 5 years. So I can probably wane off a little bit now, but she does a lot of acoustic versions of her songs because they're old and they're sick of the way it's always sounded. And it's pretty if you just strip it down and just sing it.
She did the Crossroads with Martina McBride, didn't she?
Yes. That was a fabulous
That
episode.
was awesome. Those two together were fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there you go. I don't see many Crossroads, but that one really sticks in my mind. So there you go.
yeah. And of course, Bon Jovi and Jennifer Nettles. That was a really good
That's
one.
what I was going to say. Bon Jovi with I couldn't think of who it was. Jennifer Nettles, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a great one. I should like Google all these old episodes again. They're findable.
They've got to be somewhere. Someone's bound to have uploaded them somewhere. See them all again.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So, would you like to do our 13 crazy questions?
Sure.
I love it.
Okay.
13
promise
crazy
we won't get arrested.
Yeah.
We haven't been arrested yet.
Yes, we haven't been arrested yet. Knock on wood. Praise not the knock on wood.
Okay. Easy question first. What's your favourite way of getting from A to B?
Well, I drive my car, but I don't know if that's my favorite way. In theory, I'd love to say I roller skate, but I don't. I think roller skating would be fun. I just think it'd be dangerous at my current dimensions.
I love that. Current dimensions. That's very cool.
Give us a recommendation of an artist, a song, a CD album, whatever, that we need to listen to before we die.
Oh, Eva Cassidy, Songbird.
Great.
No, I only have to think about that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know Eva
That
Cassidy?
was very quick.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I know your name.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. If you're having a bad day, what's your feel-good TV show or film?
I would say probably Better Off Dead, the John Cusack one that made him famous back in the 80s. Because the jokes are just so ridiculous and I know them all and I know what's coming and I can say the jokes with the show.
That's awesome. That's very cool. I love that.
Tell us something on your bucket list.
Ooh, Grand Canyon. I'm going there next month. So beyond that, I mean, in a month, I will have a different bucket list. I would say probably something like Niagara Falls. Because those are a lot easier to get to than South America.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's big falls? The big falls in South America, but yeah, I would say Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. It's awesome. I've been there. I've been to both, the Canadian side and the American side. So.
Well, I'd go to the Canadian side. I mean, it's vacation. Why do I want to go to New York?
I love that. Okay, if you could write with anyone dead or alive, who would you like to write with?
Probably Dolly Parton. First of all, everybody she co-writes with gets a Grammy, but maybe not everybody, but there's a lot of co-write Grammys floating around. Yeah, she just, because she is authentic and she's real and she's Southern, and she would get me, and she would understand what I'm talking about.
That would be fun. Dolly would be awesome, I must admit.
That would be my first dream co-write too. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. If we made a movie about your life, who would you want to play you?
Ooh. So my knee-jerk reaction would be Meryl Streep, because she's a goddess. And
she's awesome.
She plays piano, she plays guitar, she sings. But she's a little too old to play me.
They make it for that. Don't worry about it.
They got makeup, I tell you. They can go up and down. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it can happen anyway. I would think runner-up would be Jessica Chastain, because she did such an amazing job at Tammy Wynette.
Good. That'd be awesome. That would be cool. Okay. If your life was a reality show, what would it be called?
Get that dog a microphone. No, I don't know. I have a dog that barks way too much. She's locked in the bedroom now for that very reason. Yeah. I don't know. It would probably be a lot about my barking dog and music and my family of being constant chaos and too much going on that we never sit and just reflect on what we've been doing. We just go and go and go. At least I do.
That's what life's all about. Life's too short to sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a game plan for zombie apocalypse?
Well, I think the first thing I would do would be like lose 100 pounds, so I wouldn't have to eat it ever again, or at least eat as much. And then I could live underground and just grow my vegetables with minimal sun. Now, I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I mean, probably live underground and grow my own vegetables. I don't know what I would do with water.
No, I don't know. It's a good one. Water is needed at some point.
Yeah. I'd
think about that later.
Of course.
You need an underground lake that's just yours.
Yeah, aquifer. I would dig me a cave by an aquifer. That's what I would do.
There we go. Figured out the water solution. There we go.
There you go. We've sorted it all out. If you owned a bar, what would it?
If I owned a bar, what would I call it? Probably something like Drinks and Laugh. Oh, what's the Shakespeare quote? Mirth and laughter.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. That's a cool bar.
That would be cool, but we'll come along. We'll be there.
So hypothetically, if I came to you and said, "Hey, Cyndi, I have to hide a dead body. Do you know a good place?"
Absolutely. I used to live in the country. I still live near the country, but this really happened. I was driving home like 3:00 on a Sunday afternoon, and I saw a truck pulled over to the side of the road, and some I call him frat boy, like a young 20s buff kind of guy, was throwing something out of the back of the truck into a field, and there was some little girl in short shorts just sitting there looking bored. And I was like, are they hiding a body? And part of me wanted to pull over and make sure she was okay. But then the other part of me was like, nah, it's Texas. They're probably throwing a deer into a field. Probably something they don't want. They're probably throwing a couch into a field. I don't know. They had it wrapped up in a blanket, whatever it was. And she wasn't helping and she wasn't afraid. So, yeah, welcome to Texas.
I love it.
Texas, the best place to hide a dead body.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because when I lived at that house, part of my directions were go down the road, and when you see the shooting range, turn left. And I went, you have to drive past a shooting range just to come see me. Yeah. Welcome to Texas.
I love it. That is so cool. That is so cool. Okay. What scares you the most?
Oh, snakes. They're disgusting.
I hate snakes. Snakes give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Heebie-jeebies.
They're everywhere, and I don't deal with them.
No, I hate them. We came home the other day to two of the dogs, actually the two boy dogs, with bits of snakes all across the garden. Now we don't know if it was one snake or two snakes, but you couldn't quite tell. But there was like bits everywhere. So they've obviously killed it. They're not normally dangerous over here, but they've killed it and destroyed it, literally. And then we had to get rid of it out the garden. Well, yeah, they needed to.
I'll run over one in my car, and I think I need to reverse and run over it multiple times just to be sure.
Just to make sure it's dead. Stay dead.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, but you're right. The dogs were just doing their due diligence, as that's the small dogs. That's what they were known for. Is keeping snakes, mice, whatever. Yeah, weird things like that out of houses, and
that's why we have
their job. Yes, definitely. They protect us.
Yes, in fact, we have a guard cat that she's like, something walks by and she's like ready to attack, and I'm like, dude, you cannot attack that. You do realize you're like 6 pounds, right? Like you're hysterical.
But they'll still attack.
Yeah, she has a nickname of Church Kitty, like from Pet Cemetery. That's
okay.
Black cats, because she's black. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. Anyway,
that's crazy. That is crazy. I love it. Cats are awesome.
Oh, they are very unique. Tell us something you would never do.
Something I would never do?
Yep.
Probably skydive. I don't like heights. Just like being on a 3rd-story balcony and looking down, I'm like, okay, this is high enough. I don't need to do the glass elevator outside a skyscraper and that thing in Chicago where you can lean. No. Or the thing over the Grand Canyon with the glass floor. I don't need to do that.
No.
So I'll never skydive.
Skydiving is awesome though. I was petrified, especially when you get the little skydiver sat in and you're attached to his front and you're hanging out the plane. I'm like, ugh. But then once we jumped, it was like, yeah. But yeah, I don't think I could. I don't think I could have jumped on my own. I'd be like,
yeah, I think that's why they do that. You can't stop in the middle and change your mind.
No. Once he's gone, you're like,
yeah.
And you start floating down. You're like, yeah. I must admit, I tried to do a bungee jump, but I got the bungee on, got to the edge, and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. I can't jump. You'd have to push me off. They're like, we can't push you. It's not allowed. I'm like, well, I'm not jumping. So I kind of got back down. Luckily, my brother came up with me, so I said he can do it for me. And they're like, yeah, okay, fine. So he did too, and I could barely just walk out on the edge and come back again. Yeah, I didn't do that again.
Zip lining. Now it was across the.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were in Tennessee, outside of Pigeon Forge area, something, and it was across the river, and I'm like, it was beautiful. Oh my god, it was just a beautiful, across the river. Yeah, obviously if you fell, but you're strapped in your harness, and you're like, yeah, it was cool. That's the coolest thing skydiving for me.
I don't know.
They have smaller ones.
Oh, that's funny.
I was in Alaska at one of those little tourist things where you take the ski lift up the side of the mountain, and then you just hang out and take the ski lift back down. I'm calling it a ski lift. I don't know what it was. It was enclosed. Our feet weren't dangling like an actual ski lift because you had to like step out of it. It was enclosed. You had a little chair you sat on, but that thing I was okay when I could see the ground, but then when we were like out over the ocean, up the side of a mountain, I was just like, closing my eyes, white knuckling the rail, and telling my husband not to describe anything until my feet were on the ground, and then he could tell me everything he saw. And I'm like, here's my camera, take a million pictures, but do not tell me what it looks like right now. I'm just going to sit with my eyes shut. And he took a couple pictures of me looking like I was, quite horrified.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that one. That's for sure. Okay. What is your guilty pleasure food?
Guilty pleasure food? Well, every woman loves chocolate.
Of course.
Um, I would probably say something covered in cheese. Last night I had a ham and cheese sandwich with cheese gravy on top at some little weird restaurant. And I'm going, why is that on a menu? But okay, it was fabulous. Who needs ham and cheese sandwich covered in cheese? But we all kind of at the table, we all kind of looked at it. Went, why is this a thing? But it was quite yummy.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
I'm gonna throw one more question out just because. Okay, so when in Austin, best place to eat?
Oh,
yes.
where do I start? Well, I don't live in Austin proper. I'm about an hour outside of town. So I would tell you suburbs. There's a place called Mouton's Southern Cafe. I actually had my bridal party there, where I had all my girlfriends take me to dinner there the same night. So when we call it like a bachelorette party, but it was just 10 women or 20 women having dinner. So Mouton's Southern Cafe, it's part everything fried like the Deep South, but he's Cajun. So he also throws in some seasonings and some seafood and rice and things that are more Louisiana. Yeah, and plus barbecue. There's good barbecue on every corner.
I need to come
That
to
was my
Texas.
favorite food. Oh, the place called Blue Corn. It's a Mexican farm to fork, high end chef type food with a Mexican slant. So it's a lot of peppery type things. Yeah, Blue Corn.
Sounds awesome. I need to come to Texas.
You
I love
do.
barbecue.
Everybody do. I think
I love
everybody
barbecue.
has recently moved here. Our population is quite booming.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going with you, Texas now. Texas,
The,
here I
the
come.
first time I was in Texas, we flew into Dallas Fort Worth, and our plane landed in one concourse, and then we had to literally hightail it 10-minute run, literally, like we're running with suitcases and stuff, and people thought we were crazy to get to the other side of the airport because our plane was taking off on the other side to go back over to Nashville. And I'm like, we were like, we got there. They're like, we're now boarding. I'm like, okay, well, there's a bathroom. I'm gonna go pee before we board because I can't. I'm like, it was crazy. But yeah, that was my first. And then the story goes on because we were driving through it, and I'm like, so we're doing 10. I'm driving and driving and driving. And I think I was driving like 10 days through Texas. Actually, it's like 1 or 2, but it felt like 10 days because I was just like driving and drive. It was like not nonstop, endless.
Yeah. Texas is big.
I've seen the jokes online. They're like, we've traveled like 1,000 miles and we're still in down Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. See, we don't have that over here. Everything's sort of close and squishy. Well, kind of close and squishy in Europe.
It's kind of like Florida though too. If you're like the southernmost end of Florida, like toward Key West or something, like from Fort Myers area to Key West, if you drive, it takes like 5 hours, right? You can take a boat, it takes you like not even 2. So driving literally because of the way the roads go, right? So you go from like southern Florida to northern Florida, it's like 8 to 10 hours too. And I'm like, wow, where was this? Like it doesn't feel like it's a big state, but like across you can go across the state in like 2 hours most places. But to go from the southern to northern, it's like, yeah, it takes time.
Yeah. See, we don't have that. We don't have that in England. I must admit, everything's kind of. Well, I don't know. It's big to us, but it's tiny to you. We can fit us inside of you and just get lost. We could probably fit inside Texas, the UK.
We could probably in Texas, I think.
Well, we're that small. I mean, we have Ruggles. Come and see. Come and see me.
Oh, no, you're puppies. So, Miss Cyndi, tell us what's happening for the rest of this year for you. Like
rest of this year, I am playing at a pizza place Friday night, and they just started live music this month. We were the first band they booked. So we are inviting all of our friends, like, hey, come eat pizza. But that's the cool thing about where I live is all the mom and pop restaurants have live music. So you can't make a living doing it because there's so many artists and so much, so availability. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing Friday night. And then, just other residencies. We play at a, like a farmer's market kind of place once a month. It's at a courthouse square, so all the vendors with their little tents and everything set up. Hotel lobby we play at. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. And the mixing and mastering is going on now for our songs that we recorded. So that should be released soon. I'll send you a link when it finally happens.
Awesome.
We talk about doing a photo shoot because, you have to have a picture when you release something, even if it's digital. So, photo shoot. That'll probably happen.
That's cool. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, then, we're going to take a week off and we're going to go to Vegas and the Grand Canyon, kind of do all that because there you can drive and cross the street, do things. And I have a really cool trip coming up in June. It's 20 women rented a house together. One girl organized it, and we don't necessarily know each other, but you have to be over 21, songwriter who plays guitar. And we're all just rented this house together for a week to feed off each other's energies and probably co-write, probably learn guitar tricks from each other. They said there's also hiking and yoga and things involved with the place that we rented is in a resort. Yeah, I'm not really into that necessarily, like being surrounded by women, and I think I'm going to be stir crazy, which is probably why they have hiking and yoga and other things. But I'm really looking forward to just the energy level from each other.
That would be fun. It would be awesome.
Absolutely.
You never know. You might get.
I was gonna say, if you're driving from Vegas to the Grand Canyon, if you go kind of northish toward Utah a little, there's a little place called Valley of Fire. It's really cool. Really little side. I apologize if you hear puppy barking in the background. Jesse's decided to be opinionated. But yeah, there's a little cool place there. I can tell you then where that's at.
Okay, cool. I will look for that.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. You never know. You might write your next #1 song.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never know. You never know.
Absolutely. I mean, how do you even have a #1 song? I mean, you get hits on Spotify. I mean, I have radio airplay with my old album. It still gets radio airplay now, but there's no money in radio, so nobody has to like call you and say, by the way, we're playing your song, because they don't owe you anything if they do. So you never know.
Crazy, isn't it? Nope. Yeah. It's just madness. It is.
But it is fun. Once in a while, somebody will text me and say, hey, you're on the radio. I'm like, cool. By the time I get this text and turn it on, it'll be over. But thank you.
But at least people know them. They tell you. So that's always good.
Yeah, it is cool. It is very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we don't hear I hate to say that we don't hear a lot of women on the radio, but we don't. So it's always good to, for sure.
And I appreciate you guys having, your website and your podcast and everything. That's really cool for you guys to do that.
It's awesome. We're having a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Loads of fun. Gotta be done. Gotta be done.
Yeah, how can we not? Like music, get to meet awesome people, get to have some great laughs, silly conversation, good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And the zombie apocalypse is very important. We need to know how each other fare.
We do, because
you never know what's going to happen.
I talk about dead bodies here, but I'm like, what if we start killing zombies? I mean, is that illegal because they were once people? So I don't know. We might have to look out some laws on that. No, they're not people anymore, so it's okay. Okay,
correct. They meet the definition of a living entity, but they're not human.
Okay.
Did you get zombie dogs, or was it just zombie humans?
Well, Stephen King would write about zombie dogs.
Yeah,
he probably would.
I haven't seen a movie with zombie dogs, but going back to the whole Pet Cemetery thing, I'm sure. I mean, Cujo, right? So there's some crazy things going on, right? Some crazy animal things. So yeah,
there's definitely some crazy movies out there. So you never know.
Maybe we should write that.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm not going to be part of that.
It's probably going to be some slapstick comedy about a dog that's pretending to be a zombie, and it's really just a Halloween thing or something. Yeah, that probably help you end up.
He's just terrorizing the neighborhood, and that's it.
Yeah, just terrorizing the neighborhood with this costume or something. Like the dogs that wear the spider costumes are running around, and people go, ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. It's definitely going to be slapstick. It's not going to be anything serious. We're never serious. It'll be fun.
It'd be like, you're a zombie, ding 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 ding. Like you poke them, like, oh, Hey, or like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be funny.
Oh.
It will just be hilarious. It really would.
Oh.
We just got to
It's
pick
been
a dog.
great.
Actually, you've got 7 and my 4. We'd have loads of zombies just running around. It'd be quite funny.
It would be. It would be funny.
It would be. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
well, Miss Cyndi, it's been a pleasure having you on, and you're welcome back anytime.
Definitely.
Thank you. I
Definitely.
appreciate it. I'll send you a link when it gets released.
Perfect. Well,
Absolutely.
send it
Wonderful.
beforehand and we can help promote it for you. That'd be cool.
Okay. Okay, cool. I appreciate
Awesome. And next time you can bring hubby on and we can test him with a question.
that. Oh yeah, he's quite good at interviews.
Cool. We can test him without questions. He might come up with more crazier questions just to,
Yeah.
make it more fun.
That would be zombie plus 10 in the question. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It'll be fun.
Well, thanks again, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks
No
again. And
worries,
thank you, friends,
anytime.
for joining
Thanks a
us
lot.
for another episode. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.